Jay-Z might be one of the most powerful figures in music, with a billion-dollar empire, a legendary career, and a fairy tale marriage to Beyoncé. But behind the scenes, there's a story that challenges everything the public believes about his perfect life. A woman named Letitia Meeser has stepped forward with a claim that could shake the foundation of Jay-Z's carefully built image. Letitia says she has always known that Jay-Z is her father. This isn't some wild rumor started by a fan chasing fame. Letitia grew up in Cambridge, Maryland, and according to her, the people around her were well aware of her connection to the famous rapper. Her mother, Lisa, reportedly met Jay-Z through her sister, and things between them got serious quickly. Letitia remembers stories of Jay visiting their apartment, laughing with her mother, playing cards, and acting like someone who cared deeply, not just someone passing through. When Lisa became pregnant in 1990, Letitia's family tried to do what they believed was the right thing. They reached out to Jay-Z through his record label, Rockefeller Records, to let him know. But the response they got was cold and dismissive. The person who answered allegedly said, "Do you know how many women call here saying Jay-Z is their baby daddy?" That response silenced the family for decades. No one wanted to push further after that rejection. Letitia grew up without a father. She raised 4 children of her own, including twins, while juggling school and working 2 jobs, one at a prison and another at a hospital. For years, she kept quiet, holding on to the truth that weighed heavily on her. But in 2020, something changed. She finally spoke out in an emotional Instagram post, revealing that she had lived her whole life knowing she was Jay-Z's daughter, but had never been acknowledged, supported, or recognized publicly. Her post didn't just shock social media. It shook the small town of Cambridge, where locals had whispered about her story for years. Some even backed her up, saying they remembered seeing Jay-Z with her mother back in the day. This wasn't, in their eyes, a case of someone chasing clout. Letitia also said that she took an ancestry DNA test in hopes of finding proof that would confirm her connection. While some details remain unclear, she made it known that she was done hiding. Things took an even more surprising turn when rumors surfaced that Jay-Z may have privately acknowledged Letitia. Allegedly, he bought her a house in Cambridge and helped cover some of her bills, but with one major condition: she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA. This legal contract reportedly came with strict rules. She couldn't even hang photos of Jay-Z in her own home. In other words, she could live comfortably, but she had to keep their connection a secret. For a while, Letitia went quiet again. The rumors died down, and Jay-Z continued his life in the public eye like nothing had happened. But if the NDA was supposed to silence her forever, something clearly went wrong. Sources close to Letitia say that the financial support slowed down or even stopped completely. On top of that, her mother, Lisa, is now in a wheelchair and requires full-time care. Letitia, now an adult with her own responsibilities, feels abandoned all over again, first by her father as a child, and now during one of the most difficult times in her life. This situation has also reignited public conversations about Beyoncé's role. Some people believe she wants nothing to do with any of Jay-Z's alleged children, and that she has set a clear boundary behind the scenes. Looking at how Beyoncé has handled her own half-siblings, children her father, Matthew Knowles, had outside of his marriage, people say it's not surprising. Beyoncé has kept her distance from Coy and Nixon Knowles, so if she couldn't accept them, many wonder why she would accept Letitia. The rumors of tension between Jay-Z and Letitia have only grown as more details come out. People familiar with the situation say Jay-Z has always kept Letitia at arm's length. He never publicly acknowledged her, even if he may have supported her privately. That house in Cambridge has become a symbol, a place where she was hidden, not embraced. But Letitia isn't the only person making claims. Another individual named Ramir Satterthwaite has also been trying to prove he's Jay-Z's son. He's taken his case to court multiple times, asking for a DNA test. Ramir and his godmother, Dr. Lily Coley, say Jay-Z has used his influence and legal power to block these efforts. They claim that their cases have been unfairly dismissed and that the system seems rigged to protect someone with Jay-Z's level of fame and money. Ramir's story has taken a darker turn, too. He's said that he was intimidated and even threatened after he filed a civil suit. He believes someone tried to hurt him to shut him up. Ramir and Dr. Coley also believe that Beyoncé may be part of the effort to keep these stories hidden, wanting to protect the family's reputation at all costs. They say it's part of a pattern. When accusations get too close to the truth, they're buried with money and power. People see parallels between Letitia's story and the stories of Beyoncé's own half-siblings. Koi's mother, Takoya Branscombe, said Matthew Knowles treated her with love until she got pregnant. After that, he denied the child until a DNA test proved otherwise. Nixon's mother, Alexandra Wright, said she and her son ended up in a homeless shelter while Beyoncé lived, just a few miles away in luxury. Nixon has reportedly struggled with questions about why his sister never acknowledged him. That emotional confusion mirrors what Letitia is going through now. Insiders claim that Beyoncé is highly protective of her family image. If she couldn't accept Matthew's other children, it seems unlikely she would encourage Jay-Z to acknowledge Letitia or Ramir. This might explain why, even after all these years and allegations, Jay-Z remains silent publicly. He may feel pressured to keep these stories out of the spotlight, not just for himself, but to protect the brand he and Beyoncé have built. Even people close to Jay-Z have spoken out. One of his old friends, Oino, made it clear that he doesn't agree with how things have been handled. He said that if he were in Jay-Z's shoes, he'd take care of any child who might be his. No matter what his wife thought. In Oino's view, hiding or ignoring a child is simply wrong, especially when you have the resources to make things right. Letitia's life has been far from easy. Between working, raising her kids, and taking care of her mother, she has carried a heavy emotional burden for years. Her decision to speak out again might mean she's finally had enough. Whether she's preparing to go to court, give interviews, or just continue sharing her story online, she's clearly no longer willing to stay silent. Meanwhile, the public is watching closely. Social media has become a battleground of opinions. Some people feel deep sympathy for Letitia, saying no one should grow up without being recognized by their father, especially when that father is one of the most famous men in the world. Others wonder what legal risks she's taking by speaking out, especially if she signed an NDA. But Letitia's actions suggest that the need to be seen and acknowledged is stronger than her fear of the consequences. Ramir is still pushing for recognition too. His legal team says Jay-Z's lawyers have used every trick in the book to stall the process. They've accused the rapper's team of misconduct and say powerful connections are being used to protect him from having to take a simple DNA test. These stories are emotional and painful. Ramir says he survived threats and scare tactics. Letitia has lived in silence while raising a family and caring for a sick parent, all while being ignored by someone who could have made a huge difference in her life. Together, their voices are growing louder, and their stories are harder to ignore. People are beginning to ask tough questions. Why doesn't Jay-Z just take a DNA test and put the rumors to rest? Why does someone with so much power, wealth, and access continue to dodge these claims? His silence only fuels the belief that there may be truth in what Letitia and Ramir are saying. As time goes on, this issue becomes harder to sweep under the rug. The more Letitia shares, the more support she receives, and the more pressure Jay-Z may feel to respond. Whether he decides to confront the situation head-on or continue to avoid it, the public is paying attention now. Letitia's journey is no longer hidden. She's not just the woman from Maryland claiming to be someone's daughter. She's a mother, a caregiver, and a woman who is demanding to be seen. Whatever happens next, her voice is no longer in the shadows, and this time, people are listening.